Okay, it's a few minutes after 5 on Monday, August the 16th. I want to welcome everyone to the City Council meeting today, and we'll call this meeting to order. If everyone would please stand and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Roll call, Deb.
Rodney?
Here.
Tyler?
Yes.
Don?
Here.
Jody?
Here.
Harley?
Here. Thank you. We have a quorum this evening, and Tyler is on the phone with us. Entertain a motion then to approve the agenda today.
So moved.
I'll second.
We have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, vote please, Deb.
Rodney?
Yes.
Tyler?
Yes.
John? Don?
Yes.
Jody?
Yes.
Harley?
Yes.
I've been called worse.
Okay, motion carried. Today I just want to thank Brian Nelson. He's our videographer today. And just a reminder that school is back in session a week from today, the 23rd of August. Both schools, Bishop Garrigan and Algona Public. So please drive carefully. There's much road construction and detours around town, so please be safe around those and please be patient. So, council have anything they would like to share? Okay, hearing none, we'll move to number 6, an update from the city administrator.
Well, a few announcements. The Aquatic Center, today is the last day that will be open, so we'll be closing for the season after today. And that's primarily, well not primarily, it is due to the fact that a lot of our employees and our managers are all teachers and within service and going back to school. This is how far we can staff it to. So it was a good season to be back at the Aquatic Center, and nice of a pretty much a return to normal. But I know the city staff and everyone down there enjoyed the season, so it was a fun one to have. Other item of notice is just on the upcoming city elections. City elections will be November 2nd, 2021. There are a total of 5 seats up on the election. So it'll be the mayor, council first ward, council third ward, council at large, and then the council at large to fill the remainder of Mike Saban's term. Or excuse me, yeah, it'll be filled the remainder of Mike Saban's term. The filing period begins August 23rd, and nomination papers are due September 16th. And I also want to announce a position that the city is hiring, a communications manager. So this position was just posted today, and first review of applications will take place on August 30th. But this is a position that will be tasked with leading all the city's communication, website, social media, newsletters, as well as being a lead resource for the city in terms of updating our brochures, pamphlets, things like that. Really taking what we're doing at the city and helping translate it out, as well as helping us obtain public input for future planning of projects. Another big task that we'll have is doing marketing and economic development efforts. So we're excited to get this position listed as the communications manager. Like I said, the first review of applications will be August 30th. And then on streets, as the mayor mentioned, we have a number of street projects going on around town. The mill and overlay projects, concrete removals and construction will still be continuing on for the next couple weeks here, but then hopefully we'll have the milling and the overlay of those streets that was first 2 weeks in September. So just remind people that if you see the road closed signs up, please follow them. Oh, and finally, also Main Street will begin paving tomorrow. They'll start with the main drag and then from there start teeing off. So that should take a couple weeks, and hopefully we are looking at a mid-September opening date for that street.
Great. Thank you, Jacob. Agenda item number 7, then, this is the citizens' opportunity to address the council with any item that's not on the agenda. I don't see anyone here in the council chambers. Is there anyone on the phone? Barb?
There's 2 others on the phone besides Tyler, but it doesn't look like they're trying to say anything.
Okay. Okay, we'll move on then to agenda item number 8, which is the consent agenda, and that includes approving the minutes from our last meeting, August the 2nd, approve the bills to be paid this cycle, approve a Class C liquor license for the Perky Parrot, approve the department reports as well as the minutes from the various boards and commissions that have met, and the administrator's report.
Move to approve.
I'll
Second.
Okay, we have a motion from Harley, a second from Don. Is there any discussion? Vote please, Deb.
Rodney?
Yes.
Tyler?
yes,
Don?
Yes.
Jody?
Yes.
Harley?
Yes.
Motion carried. Move to agenda item number 9, which is to approve a request for a street closure. Scott, would you like to come up?
I'm Scott Seawick. I'm just proposing a road closure. I'd like to block the street off from Harlan Street to Thornton Street, and then down each alley on Moore Street and Dodge Street on September 19th for a cruising car show. The show's from 2 to 4. I don't know what typically time you block them off. I'm going to be up there obviously in the morning doing a lot of things, so it's a Sunday. Typically downtown isn't too busy on Sundays.
Yeah, this is a Sunday afternoon on State Street, talking State Street.
Yeah. So, I don't know, 10 o'clock, 8 o'clock, 10 o'clock, blocking the streets off. I don't know, like I said, it makes that much difference on a Sunday. I know typically, we went to Hobo Days car show this weekend. The sign-in was from 8 till noon. There were cars there at 7 o'clock. So, because I'm at 2 o'clock, probably gonna have people at 1 o'clock. So,
Yeah,
I'm
for sure.
thinking maybe the earlier in the morning, the better for me, so that I can get other things organized besides having the street blocked off.
So, yeah, from the police department standpoint, any thoughts on the timing of that or proposed?
No, I don't think it should be a problem at, if you wanted to try and shut it down by noon. Or even 11 could be a possibility. Normally, there's not a ton of businesses open on Sundays. I think you wanted to advertise them to have an opportunity, but that should get your breakfast crowd, if anyone, if there's anything downtown, gets through that.
Yeah, I'm gonna take letters up to the downtown businesses, hopefully this week, and give them the opportunity to be open if they wanna be. I know, certain places like Premier Pizza, they're not open until 4 o'clock. I talked to Jody, her issue is, help, but offered, if she wants to sell pizza and beer out the front door, I offered my wife to help her, so. I told her, I said, I think it would be a good opportunity to be open. Rick, you went to Britt on Wednesday night last month, saw what they had going over there. Every place over there is full.
Yeah.
I know during the Founder's Day, I was up here to the car show. We went to Billy Joe's, we had to wait to get a seat.
Right, yeah.
So it impacts probably the food places more than some of the businesses, but I know on Wednesday night over there, all their businesses are open uptown. So it's only a couple hours, that's what I'm trying this year to kind of test the water to see how this goes. next year, maybe, we may, do it a little longer if things work out, so. I know that I've printed 2,000 flyers, and I've got probably somewhere around 500 of them left. So I gave out over 1,500 flyers on this thing, and I have Mojo Productions is helping me, so, on that Wednesday night, we handed out 600 flyers over there in Britt, and I'll do it again this Wednesday, and then they've got one more in September 15th, so 4 days before we're having our show. And I did it in Titanca, we did it at the A&W. I was at the A&W on Friday night in Emmitsburg. They have a cruise in over there.
Yeah.
We handed out flyers over there. There was probably 35, 40 cars over there. So we've done quite a bit of advertising.
Yeah.
So hopefully it's we're trying to promote Algona a little bit too.
You bet.
So.
Well, if the weather's good, you'll have a good turnout, I'm sure.
Well, yeah, we're
it's-
hoping that. September it might be a little cool, but as long as the sun shines, we don't
That's right.
typically get a whole. Well, we haven't had a whole lot of rain anyway this summer. So.
Right. True.
We had,
Except
That was-
Founder's Day.
that was the
Yeah.
same we closed off for Founder's Day, wasn't it? The same streets? We went from
Yeah,
Harlan to
they were
Thornton.
from Harlan
Yeah.
to
I thought
Thornton.
so.
The only reason I'm asking for down to the alleys is there's 34 spots per block. Okay, so that gives me 102. They had 155 cars over at the Purple Day thing. If I have 150 some cars, I gotta put them somewhere. And if we block off more in Dodge, that gives me another 68 spots for a total of 107.
Well, I think we did that we had the
We did that on
block out.
Founder's Day
We did that
too,
at Founder's Day too.
Yeah.
They didn't need them because of kind of the weather and the way it turned out,
Only had
but
50
Yeah, that
cars.
was the
But-
thing where.
it was available.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And we're gonna fill Main Street first.
Yeah.
Obviously, and if I need the overflow, then we'll use the overflow, but just, being this first year, I don't know what to expect, I guess, so.
Yeah.
Well, I hope you're overwhelmed.
Yeah. That's what we're hoping for.
Well, do we have to determine the time too, or are we just approving the street closures?
Yeah, have
We-
you approved the area and the time?
Okay. So what did we kind of
So if you
consensus
want-
there?
You know,
I mean, are you thinking 11 or 11 to 12?
I don't think that's a problem, just
I don't eat on Sunday.
yeah, noon would be.
kind of how it happened for
easy
Founder's Day
cutoff.
is, it was no parking after this time, and it was kind of a slow process. We started with locking streets down, getting some cars, but as long as we have the signage up for 11 and, completely locked down by, 11:30, that shouldn't be a problem by any means.
Yeah, I
Is
mean,
that good, Jacob, 11, or was noon? Were you saying noon? Or,
I mean, either one's fine.
Okay.
so Sunday, I think we can.
Yeah,
11
there's
If it gives Scott a little more time
rarely any
to organize his first one.
downstate on
Yeah.
Sundays anyways.
Yeah.
okay.
Help Scott get the first one organized that way, maybe he'll realize if he needs more or less time if it continues. I'd make a motion that we approve the street closure from Harlan to Thornton, and then the side streets that he talked about to the alleys, from 11, probably to, what are you gonna need, 5? Time to get out of there?
Probably.
Yeah,
Yes.
11 to 5?
Yeah.
I'll second that.
Okay, we have a motion and a second then for a street closure on State Street. Any other discussion? Hearing none, vote please, Deb.
Rodney?
Yes.
Tyler?
Yes.
Don?
Yes.
Jody?
Yes.
Harlan?
Yes.
Motion carried. Thank you.
Good luck, Scott.
Thank you,
As
Scott.
well.
Thank you.
We'll move to new business then, agenda item number 10. This is an ordinance concerning Elm Street, and this is the second reading.
This is an ordinance vacating the unimproved area of Elm Street east of Clark Street. That's all.
Is this the second, I'd make a motion, we waive the second reading?
Second.
Okay, we have a motion by Rodney, a second from Don to waive the second reading. Any discussion? Hearing none, vote please, Deb.
Rodney?
Yes.
Tyler?
Yes.
Don?
Yes.
Jody?
Yes.
Harlan?
Yes.
Motion carried.
Motion to approve the second reading?
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve the second reading. Any discussion? Vote please, Deb.
Rodney?
Yes.
Tyler,
Yes.
Don,
Yes.
Jody,
Yes.
Harley.
Yes.
Motion carried.
And this needs 3, right? To pass? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, we'll move then to agenda item number 11. This is a resolution pertaining to the EMS renovation project.
This resolution accepts the project and approves final payment for the EMS renovation project. Bob Becker Construction was the general contractor. The total amount in the final payment to be paid is $2,735. The total project cost was $106,396.
Move to approve the resolution.
I'll second.
We have a motion from Don, a second from Jody. Any discussion? Vote please, Deb.
Rodney,
Yes.
Tyler,
Yes.
Don,
Yes.
Jody,
Yes.
Harley.
Yes. Motion carried. Agenda item number 12 is a resolution pertaining to the 2021 cemetery shed addition at Riverview Cemetery.
This construction project is also complete, so this resolution accepts the project and approves final payment to Holland Contracting in the amount of $17,000. The total project cost was $82,000.
Take it everybody's happy with it?
Yep.
Move to approve.
Second.
We have a motion from Harley, a second from Rodney. Any discussion? Hearing none, vote please, Deb.
Rodney,
Yes.
Tyler,
Yes.
Don,
Yes.
Jody,
Yes.
Harley.
Yes.
Motion carried. Agenda item number 13 is a resolution approving a storm sewer connection agreement.
We had sent letters out to everybody who had the curb cuts for their roof drains and sump pumps. Well, this gentleman, Mike Kirby over at 508 South Worcester, he's got a very narrow lot and he had nowhere to drain his water except out into the street. So what we allowed him to do while they had removed the curb is to put his tile line along the right-of-way behind the curb down to the storm intake. So that way it's still running below ground into the storm intake. It will not be out in the street. Matt was there and we discussed it and we thought this was the best solution for everybody. He does have the leaf guards on his roof drain, so we don't have to worry about leaves going down into the storm sewer. So his sump pump lines and his roof drains will go out to the city right away and then down to the stormwater intake.
Seems like a
This,
good,
the easement or the agreement is if we would ever dig in the right of way, because we do have a sewer line that's 9 feet down, if we would ever dig in the right of way and damage this tile, the city is not responsible for fixing it. He would have to fix it on his own.
Same thing with any repairs or replacements of the title, and then the agreement is attached to the property itself, so it'll be recorded. Right. So any future property owners, it would follow.
Well, in solving our, what do we do with the water issue in town, I think this is a good agreement, so.
You know, over on Main Street, we put the sump pump lines in for people to plumb into, and if we were doing a total reconstruction of the street, we'd have done the same thing, so. We didn't do the total street reconstruction, but we allowed him to do this to help him out.
Yeah, good compromise.
Move to approve.
Second.
We have a motion from Harley, second from Rodney. Is there any other discussion?
I just have one quick question. I know that in the language, we're putting that the city won't fix it if the city goes in and makes repairs, but what if another company does, like AMU? What if AMU is
Well, they're part of the
digging and
city.
they're part of that too?
No, they're part of the city.
Okay. Right.
Good?
Mhm.
Okay,
Yeah, sorry.
it's all right. Okay, vote please, Deb.
Rodney,
Yes.
Tyler,
Yes.
Don,
Yes.
Jody,
Yes.
Harley.
Yes.
Motion carried. Agenda item number 14 is a resolution adopting a metal detector policy.
For recent years, the city has allowed residents to use the city metal detector if they want to find the property pins. In the past, we've just charged them a $40 deposit and then written down their name and number, and they got the deposit back and then returned it. Our old metal detector unfortunately died, and so we had to get a replacement. And with that, given the cost and kind of just technical nature of something like that, in terms of it has to get broken or repaired, we thought we should look at actually charging a fee to use that, as well as increasing the deposit amount. The goal is still being it would, be an economic, option and something there for people without being too high, but basically allowing the city to recoup some of the costs of the wear and tear. So as we have proposed, it would be a $25 a day rental for the metal detector, and then with that a $50 deposit, so it would be $75 when you came into Estamar. Currently, there's no charge to use it, and it's a $40 deposit.
And we have in the past had somebody come and get it and keep it all week. And sometimes we have a waiting list for it. So that's why I think the charge of per day will encourage people, if you're coming up to get it, you're gonna get it used and get it returned.
I make a motion that we approve the public use policy for the city metal detector.
I'll second.
We have a motion from Rodney, a second from Jody. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, vote please, Deb.
Rodney?
Yes.
Tyler?
Yes.
Don?
Yes.
Jody?
Yes.
Harley?
Yes.
Motion carried. Agenda item number 15 refers to a sign permit.
Jan Ricky?
I don't think she's
No, she's not here right now.
Well, the Historical Society would like to place a sandwich-style sign out on, in front of their property, similar to the POW does, just to recognize that they're open. Given their limited hours, I think that's fine. If we were to approve it though, I would probably just have them there, one, we know they're going to be putting a professional-looking sign out there, and that they place it in front of their building in a way that isn't going to interfere with ADA in terms of having 4-foot clearance, since they have, they got permission to put 2 stairs on the sidewalk, and there's a planter box. So there's space around it, they can put it, as long as they put it in a way that doesn't impact that 4-foot clearance, I don't think should be a problem.
Yeah, actually, those signs, like you look some of the tourist towns down at Pella, we get there quite often, and they use them extensively. And one that's quite popular is actually a blackboard type sign, so you can have some originality from day to day. So I think it's a good option. We might look at more use in town. Anyway, I'd move to approve this one.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion from Harley, a second from Don. Is there any other discussion? Hearing none, vote please, Deb.
Rodney?
Yes.
Tyler?
Yes.
Don?
Yes.
Jody?
Yes.
Harley?
Yes.
Motion carried. Agenda item number 16 approves a pay application for the North Main Street Reconstruction Project.
You want me to give a brief update on all projects?
Yeah, let's get going up. So this is pay application number 3 for the North Main Reconstruction Project. The amount due in this application is $271,557.27. The balance to finish, including retainage, is $441,142.94. And we have Matt Cole with Bolton Make to provide us an update on these next few pay applications.
Thank you, Jacob. Yeah, like Jacob said earlier, Main Street is going to start mainline paving tomorrow. They plan on being able to do all the mainline paving. That includes the curbs, integral curb and gutter, so it's the whole width of the street. They plan on doing the whole length as far as they can get tomorrow, which will be from Lucas to probably 50 feet south of Commercial. with their equipment, then they still need to, have room to haul it out, take it apart, and get it out of there, and then they'll pour the rest of it by hand. They'll follow up with intersections and driveways and sidewalks on Main Street, and that's kind of all that's left to do, other than traffic controls, or new traffic signs and seating. So that will follow after all the concrete work is finished. Yeah, shooting for that mid to late September reopening of the street. We'll leave the street closed until all the traffic signs and cure time on concrete are complete. I guess I'm jumping ahead a little bit, but since I'm here, give you an update on Moore Street and Snap-on Drive. All the underground utilities are complete on Moore Street. They've subcut both of those blocks already, and have started installing the subdrain pipes for the underground drainage and the sump pump stubs for those 2 blocks. They plan on having the subdrains done this week yet, and potentially starting to rock that street too, if we can get subgrade prepped and roll tested. Snap-on Drive, the lot grading to the east, the business park there is almost complete as well. They got to do a little topsoil spreading, but both ponds are dug to the final grade, and that's moving along nicely. They've built the street grade back up where it's going to be, so once they start putting in the utilities, they can start building the street there too. Potential to start underground utilities on the south end at Poplar Street this week yet, and then their borings underneath the highway probably next week now. So the mill and overlay job, we have all of Kennedy Street and Wooster Street. All the concrete work is done on both of those streets. Kennedy Street, I guess in front of the school there, from 169 to Wooster, is complete. Fort Dodge Asphalt patched the street patch in front of the curb today on Kennedy Street with school starting. The mill and the overlay portion of the project isn't done, but all the concrete work, the street patching is complete. So that's kind of, as safe as we can make it for the time being. Like I said, the mill and overlay portion will come later once we get all the concrete work done on the rest of the project, and then bring in the mill one time and start paving the street. They've done removals on Jones Street, poured some of that curb back, and some of the ped ramps, and they started removals on Moore Street late last week. And they're working down Moore Street towards Overmeyer. After Moore Street, they will be going to Overmeyer and Blackford, and then kind of following up south, Riverview, and then back to Kennedy and Williams, and then the last street will be Low Street, which is still a little ways out yet, but potentially yet this week they might get to Overmeyer to start from, I think it's Hall to Smith Street. Will be the first stretch of Overmeyer there. We'll be notifying people kind of as the project moves along there with the website, and I guess council updates as well. So, any questions on any of the projects?
Moore Street and like Main Street, once you gravel it, you talk, how long does that sit before actual pavement starts?
It's going to depend on Wix's schedule. So Wix is paving Main Street. They are also the concrete sub for Moore and Snap-on. So they're going to be in town doing Main Street stuff. I think they have, 1 or 2 other jobs kind of in between Moore Street and Main Street time-wise. With it being gravel, it won't be fully graveled this week, but sometime early next week, hopefully. I don't know exactly what Wix's schedule is. We do have a construction meeting tomorrow with the contractor, so we might have a little better idea of when they can start paving Moore Street. But with 3 weeks of work on Main Street, they might be doing both streets at the same time, or parts of one, and trying to get McGregor Street back open, I guess would be the most critical. But we kind of anticipated a 5 to 6 week closure on that street. We have some time left in that window to get done. But with all the underground done, it's basically just grading and prepping for paving, and then getting the paving through.
Cool.
How are we, there's a lot of off-street or on-street parking down in the Riverview and, Overmeyer area. Are we letting the homeowners know? I mean, there's markings, but I've had a lot of questions even in my area. So when are they coming? Everything's marked, but.
They're going door to door telling people.
So you'll go, okay.
Yeah, so Fort Dodge Asphalt is the prime contractor on that job. They've been handing out door hangers. I think they handed out all of Overmeyer and Blackford
Okay.
today.
I wasn't for sure how they were doing
Yeah,
it.
so Erbelding is still working on Moore Street. They're I think at Moore and Grove, maybe a little bit south of Grove Street. So there's still a couple blocks, long blocks there to prep down to Overmeyer for removals. They were thinking they were gonna get that done tomorrow sometime and then potentially start Overmeyer this week yet.
Sure.
Maybe Wednesday. So.
That's good to know. I didn't know about the door knockers. I guess I wasn't for sure.
Yep, they gave everybody door hanger notices and we'll be updating the website with the email notifications as well. I think quite a few people have signed up for them. Everybody that I've talked to on, morale marketing, people are asking questions, so we'll sign up for the project website on the city website.
How long does that take, like, Overmeyer, for example?
So we've been telling the people with driveways it's a minimum of 2 weeks that they won't be able to use their driveway. The rest of the stuff is just curb patches, so with the on-street parking, it's not gonna be hard closed all the time like Booster Street was, because we're not replacing the curb in the majority, it's just small patches here and there. So the majority of people will have access to their driveway every night. And some of those people that have to get their driveway cut out for curb repairs in the driveway portion. So they can, park in a neighbor's, park across the street where we haven't removed curb. And we'll, put cones up where there is holes. And during the day, there's gonna be limited access just with the crew working on the street. But for the most part, at night, if your driveway's not worked out, you'll be able to park in your garage.
Okay. Good update.
Anything else?
Good. Thank you, man.
Thanks.
Move to approve pay application.
My second.
Okay, we have a motion from Harley, a second from Don on agenda item number 16 for North Main Street Reconstruction Project. Any discussion? Hearing none, vote please, Deb.
Rodney?
Yes.
Tyler?
Yes.
Don?
Yes.
Jody?
Yes.
Harley?
Yes.
Motion carried, thank you. Agenda item number 17 approves the pay application for Moore Street and Snap-on Drive project.
This is pay application number 1 for the Moore Street Snap-on Drive project in the amount of $228,964.49. The balance to finish, including retainage, is $2,194,847.15.
Motion to approve.
I'll second.
Have a motion from Rodney, second from Jody. Any discussion? Hearing none, vote please, Deb.
Rodney?
Yes.
Tyler?
Yes.
Don?
Yes.
Jody?
Yes.
Harley?
Yes.
Motion carried. Agenda item number 18 approves the pay application for the 2021 street improvement project.
This is for the mill and overlay project. The first pay application for Dodge Asphalt is in the amount of $34,931.74. The balance to finish, including retainage, is $686,541.29.
Motion to approve.
I'll second.
A motion from Rodney, a second from Jody. Any discussion? Vote please, Deb.
Rodney?
Yes.
Tyler?
Yes.
Don?
Yes.
Jody?
Yes.
Harley?
Yes.
Motion carried. Thank you. Agenda item number 19 approves a pay application for Teets Park Shelter House project.
This is the first pay application from Sand Construction in the amount of $75,422.49. The balance to finish, including retainage, is $419,056.51.
Move to approve.
Second.
We have a motion from Harley, a second from Don. Any discussion? Hearing none, vote please, Deb.
Rodney?
Yes.
Tyler?
Yes.
Don?
Yes.
Jody?
Yes.
Harley?
Yes.
Motion carried. Agenda item number 20 approves a change order regarding Teets Park Shelter House.
So this one has a few different options. Want to talk through and get council's thoughts and action on. I will the document they supplied is a little confusing, so we'll just kind of address them individually. First one would be the lay the 2 additional courses of the 12-inch stone with a cap. So on the project site, and you can see the area where it's kind of the area of concern there outlined in red. That parking lot has a really aggressive slope to it. So when we're looking at coming in off the parking lot into the shelter house there, it's a pretty significant drop. We knew that was going to be the case, and we need to figure out kind of in the field what would be the most appropriate way to handle it. What the architect has come up with as a proposal would be to essentially take 2 more rows of that slate block that's currently up, basically install 2 rows there on the north side, and then a capstone on top of that, and then you'd have about 3 feet between where that small wall would be and the sidewalk, and in between there do some sort of landscaping bench or combination thereof. On the rendering options that we had, it kind of incorporates 2. So the south and the west entries will be at grade as shown here, where you just walk in and there's a sidewalk connection not there. But that north wall, instead of showing here where it's just it looks like you could walk off, we would have more or less that wall there, so you wouldn't be able to walk in from the north side, but it will basically be blocking a very awkward transition, potential tripping hazard, and that height of the wall is such that 16-18 inches that on the inside it can be used as a bench.
So this was really never meant to be an entryway anyway, but by putting a wall there, it would just kind of discourage using it that way.
Yeah, and we had talked, do we maybe try to build a half wall? And just, kind of furthest on the east side, you could have an entryway on the north side. But thinks it's probably just a lot easier and cleaner for the design, and just knowing that this is where the entry is and it's, a couple more feet around the corner.
I kind of like their idea that you could use it for a bench, it'd be more seating. Actually, the picture doesn't quite show it. They talk about 2 courses instead of just 1, the picture shows.
Yeah, the picture just
So it
shows
would
the
be a
one.
little higher than that.
Yes. So with that change, let me find that something. So the current number that we have on that, if you add those 3 up, would be $2,124. Right now, the high cost for that is just the proposed capstone that they have sourced is about a little under $1,400 of that. They think they can find an alternative between now and then. So it would be looking at approving tonight is just the installing the 2 rows of block, and then we'll figure out what we want to put on there as a cap, whether that's an actual block or one of them that was even suggested was like a cedar, a piece of like cedar wood or something we could. But the least expensive part is just getting the blocks. I can get the contractor to go ahead and put that, and we can figure out what's the most economical option to put as the finishing piece on top. So that's really item number 1 to go through.
I like that idea. I see the necessity for it, and I think that's a good idea.
So kind of just to keep discussion simple, we'll kind of address these maybe one by one. So are any other questions on this? Otherwise, let's once we get to the motion part, we look at just adding the 2 blocks of, or 2 rows of blocks of capstone to be determined. Sound good? Then on the outlets, so we got 2 there. Add outlets on the, there should just be outlet on the TV south wall, and then remove an outlet above the kitchen countertop below the window, and change boxes from double to single. That first one, that would be for $200 just to add the outlet. So that would basically be where we had discussed last week in terms of putting an outlet at TV height instead of an actual, full TV box, but basically something we can mount to and no cabling to or anything like that, but install one more or less right here. So just the outlet, that would be $200. And then with that, the have proposed taking out one of the outlets along the kitchen wall, and then reducing those. Right now, all those outlets that are showing there are 4-prong, which probably is really overkill. And if you were to use all 4 times, 5, it wouldn't be able to handle that load anyway. So it would just be basically switching all of those to just 2-prong. But we did load that side with outlets for, roasters and things like that, but maybe just a little too much. So that's basically it ends up with those changes would be a credit of 55. Any questions on the proposed outlet add, and then change on the east kitchen outlets? And the final change order is regarding the drinking fountain. So as you can see here in this photo, right now we're not showing the drinking fountain there. We're proposing moving it to outside. A few different reasons behind that. What really started the conversation was this is built in and it goes 5 feet deep because it is a frost resistant system. And with the proposed basically pour in that floor, if there was ever to be an issue with that, we would have to chisel out an area to get someone 5 feet deep to fix it, which would be a headache and an expense. And then so we said, oh, what do we look at for other options? And then we started discussing, well, maybe if someone's having an event there and someone's on the trail and wants to, use it, they might not feel welcome to go in there and, interrupt an event, or if they've got a dog. So, we thought maybe it just makes the most sense to just move that out entirely. So generally what we have shown there, the exact location to be determined, but it would still be the same unit, bottle filler, dog bowl, regular fountain. We basically just take it and from underneath the overhang and put it out along the trail. They're designed to be out in the elements, so that's not an issue. The only, items with that is it is about depending on how we do it, it is a cost to add, obviously. And that's really because we're having to move the water, or add a water line extension, and then that's additional excavating and packing work there. So in order to connect it to the sanitary sewer line, the total cost of the move is at $1,925 to relocate the drinking fountain, dig new water line, new materials, pack it back in. If we do not have to connect it to the sanitary sewer line and DeVere is looking into the regulations on that. These are designed in a way that you can just basically, it goes down into a French drain, P-rock, because, it's just water coming out. That's pretty common on these, that they aren't hooked up to a sanitary sewer, but just in terms of, following our own regulations. So if we can avoid having to hook it up to the sewer, because it would just be, minimal amount of clean water coming out and draining, then the cost to add is $1,375. So we think we can go that route, but like I said, I'm asked to do a look at it in terms of making sure we're compliant with our own regulations.
Yeah, that looks like a good option. It'd be nice if we could do that.
I agree. Makes sense to have it on the outside in case you do have an event there, like Jacob said.
And
People can
it'll be
use
more
it.
visible too, for people. They'll know it's there.
So any questions at all on drinking fountain change? So then if,
So it all comes to 5,700, the change? The
no,
total. I would say that doesn't,
it's less than that. They have some items on there that are redundant or just things that we discussed. So the total would be, if we go without the, that cap block, it'd be $732 for the additional lane block. It would be a $55 credit for the electrical changes, and then would be a cost of range between $1,375 to $1,925, depending on if we need to connect the move to drinking fountain to sanitary sewer.
What's OHP?
Overhead and profit.
Oh, okay.
Just adding on to the cost. So,
Well, I think they all look like reasonable changes, so I'd move to approve the change order in whole.
I'll second.
Okay, we have a motion from Harley, a second from Jody. Any other discussion? Hearing none, vote please, Deb.
Rodney,
yes.
Tyler,
Yes.
Don,
Yes.
Jody,
Yes.
Harley.
Yes.
Motion carried. Agenda item number 21 pertains to appointing members to the Industrial Development Committee.
As was discussed in the work session, we're looking at establishing that group to kind of vet some potential development agreements and development of the park. So on the action item, council just needs to decide if they want to establish the committee and then the way to go about doing that, whether to appoint the members by council or just authorize the mayor to appoint members.
Well, I would move to go ahead and create the committee and have it set for the mayor to do the appointments.
I second.
Okay, we have a motion from Harley and a second from Don. Any other discussion about this? Hearing none, vote please, Deb.
Rodney,
Yes.
Tyler,
Yes.
Don,
Yes.
Jody,
Yes.
Harley.
Yes.
Motion carried, thank you. Agenda item number 22 sets a date and a time for the first council meeting in September, since the first Monday is Labor Day.
Correct. City offices will be closed that day. Proposing, what we typically do in these events is scheduled for the next day, so it would be Tuesday, September 7th at 5 p.m. if council so chooses.
Motion to approve moving the regular city council meeting to September 7th at 5 p.m.
I'll second.
Motion from Rodney, second from Jody to move the meeting to Tuesday. Any other discussion? Hearing none, vote please, Deb.
Rodney?
Yes.
Tyler?
Yes.
Don?
Yes.
Jody?
Yes.
Harley?
Yes.
Motion carried. Agenda item number 23 is an appointment to the Airport Zoning Board of Adjustment to replace Nick Deers. Anybody have any thoughts yet for that? Okay. We'll keep looking and ask it, so. Okay, we'll move to agenda item number 24. This is an appointment to the Cemetery Board. This is an appointment by the council to fill the remainder of Midge Andreessen's term. Anybody have
Anybody
any?
yet?
Nope.
Anybody? Okay,
Nobody wants
we're
to
still checking there
be on
too,
that board.
okay. So we'll move then to agenda item number 25. This is in regards to the appointment of the vacant city council at-large seat vacated by Mike Saban.
In order to meet the timelines for appointment without having to go to a special election, especially this close to an election, the appointment would, we have 60 days from the date of the resignation when in effect, so the appointment either needs to take place at this council meeting or the council meeting on September 7th. If it's after that date, we'll be required to fill by a special election.
Well, last meeting, we had a couple of good interviews. I certainly want to thank anybody who expresses interest in this seat. And yes, it's only serving for a couple of months until the general election, so I'd certainly encourage anybody interested to go ahead and take out papers when they're available to run for the general election if you want. But as of now, I would make a motion, we approve Carl Westling as to fill the seat for now.
Any second? Okay, motion dies in from lack of a second.
I move to approve or appoint Brandon Hoover.
Brad.
Brad, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Yes. Second.
Okay, we have a motion from Don and a second from Rodney to appoint Brad Hoover. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, vote please, Deb.
Rodney?
Yes.
Tyler?
Yes.
Don?
Yes.
Jody?
Yes.
Harley?
Yes.
Motion carried. Thank you. Congratulations, Brad, and we'll look for you at the next council meeting shortly after Labor Day. So that brings us to the end of our published agenda. It is 5:56, and I would entertain a motion then to adjourn.
I'll move to adjourn.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Meeting's adjourned. Thank you very much.